The Executive Council of the African Union got underway in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. For 2 days, the foreign affairs ministers of the 54 African states will discuss agenda items to be deliberated on by the African Union Summit this coming Sunday and Monday. We now go to SABC's Coletta Wanjoy, who joins us from Addis Ababa. Good evening and welcome to The Full View. Let's start off here looking at the remarks from Musa Faki. It's quite clear that security will be high on the agenda.
Yes, exactly. So the foreign affairs ministers from the member states have begun their 2-day deliberation where they'll be expected to set the agenda for the heads of state when they come and meet for the summit. So silencing the guns is the theme for this year, and we're expecting that all the agenda that will be set will be around how peace and security can be enhanced and how existing conflicts in the continent can be enhanced. And we heard from the UN Executive the Secretary General of the UN Economic Commission for Africa saying that the cost of war and insecurity is so high, and it's also taking up what would be the cost of benefits in the continent. So we're expecting that the head of state will be talking about this, and also part of the agenda, we know there are specific countries that the foreign affairs ministers will be recommending to the heads of state, particularly Libya, that has been a big issue for the past 11 months, giving issues because there is opposition trying to take over from the government there.
Do you get the sense at all that from those who are from the foreign ministers, or at least some of the delegates there, that when it comes to Libya, the continent is not playing such a pivotal role as much as, for instance, what we've seen with Russia intervening as well as Germany?
Well, the talk here in the corridors of the African Union is that Africa is trying, and we saw the past, just a week ago, there was a high-level conference that was held to discuss peace in Libya. So the African Union says it has already fronted to the Libyan warring factions that the continent is ready to help them speak peace. But we know the Libyan factions also have the liberty to look beyond the continent, and we've seen them doing that in Berlin and other areas beyond the continent. But what the African Union will be doing this year, it will be emphasizing that the Libya talks or the Libya negotiations must be done within Africa by Africans. But whether that will come to pass is also something that we're waiting to see.
Yeah, and earlier on you touched a bit on the remarks from Vera Songwe, but when she spoke earlier on, one indication as well is that when you look at the conflict as well as armed conflicts on the continent have increased over the past 10 years. I think that the figure that she gave was from 7 to 21.
Yeah, exactly. And she said this is a cause for worry because while the continent is talking big things, while the continent is talking about bigger inter-African trade, while the continent is talking about coming together, we're still having conflict within. And what some of the things he highlighted is the fact that Africa needs to start getting serious at the moment because things are not really good. Because if there are conflicts, peace and insecurity in areas, then economic growth that the continent is targeting towards or gearing towards will not really happen. So it is a call for all African states to come back to the drawing board and assist the countries in conflict and to try and pacify the continent.
We just came from the World Economic Forum, and the theme there was around climate change and sustainable development. Do you get a sense at all that this will also play a pivotal role during deliberations amongst the member states?
Exactly. If you look at the draft agenda that has been released by the African Union Commission on the issues that will be discussed throughout the week, climate change is going to be given attention at the high level. That means some heads of state will be discussing this. And because, you know, at the moment in the continent, we have locust invasion in parts of the Eastern Africa, we have drought, we have issues of floods. So it has been an issue that has been recurring and an issue that the African continent thinks really needs priority. And we are seeing that in the agenda, so that's something good.
Well, thank you so much there from Coletta Wanjoy joining us from Addis Ababa, where the African Union Summit will be taking place on Sunday and on Monday. And as we've been indicating that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be taking over as chair, as South Africa takes over as chair of the African Union. Let's go to a quick ad break. When we come back, The Full View continues.